In this video, we're going to do some traditional division with two-digit divisors so that you can follow along as you work through your own problems at your desk. You can pause as you need to. We're going to start with our divide, multiply, subtract, compare, bring down, repeat. And the questions we think about to help us remember those letters are: do most students carry books daily? Or does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers daily raw? A couple things to keep in mind when we're doing these problems is one strategy is to round the divisor, and that we'll talk about that as we work through the problem a little bit later. And we always need to remember, if there are 4 digits in the, or however many digits are in the dividend up here, we have to have the same number of digits up here in our quotient, in our answer. At the end of the problem, if we don't have the same number of digits up at the top, then we know that we've done something wrong, or maybe we forgot to complete a step. Let's get started with the problem, and we're going to start with the biggest place, the number to the left, and if I have 6 apples, could 28 people get an apple? Or how many piles of 28 could I get? Well, the answer to that is 0. Now that we've determined that was 0, we're going to look at the first 2 digits together, 63. If I have 63 apples, can 28 people get an apple? And the answer to that is yes. So now we want to know how many apples could they get. And this is where the rounded number can come into play. We can look at the first digit here and the first digit here. How many groups of 3 could we get from 6? And that's 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Off to the side, we're going to try 28 times 2, and we're going to get 56. 56 is close to 63, and it doesn't go over. So we're going to say that there are 2 groups of 28 and 63. When we put a number up at the top, that's when we finish our division problem. After we divide, we go down to multiply, which we already did. 2 times 28 is 56. And after we multiply, the number we write down at the bottom. We finish multiplying, so then we go to subtract. 63 subtract 56 is 7. After we subtract, we go to compare. This number, after we subtract, has to be less than the divisor. So 7 is less than 28. So then we go to the next step, which is bring down. And we bring down the next number from the dividend here for 4. If we bring down, then we go to the next step. We have to repeat. We have to go all the way up to the top and do that whole process over again. This time, we do our division with this number in the divisor. So 74 divided by 28. If I have 74 apples, how many could 28 people get? Or how many groups of 28 could we have? And we can use our rounded number again for 3 and 7. How many groups of 3 could we get from 7? Well, that's going to be 2 again. We already did this problem over here. We can think to ourselves, could I get another group of 28 added on to 56 and still be less than 74? If I'm not sure, I can always add it on. 56 plus 28 is 84. That's too big. That doesn't work. So we're going to stick with 2. Again, when we divide, we put our number at the top. After we divide, we multiply. 2 times 28 is 56. After we multiply, we subtract. 14 subtract 6 is 8. 6 subtract 5 is 1. After we subtract, we compare. And we have to see if 18 is less than 28, and it is. So then we see if there's another number to bring down. In this case, there is. So we bring down the 7. Then we have to repeat, divide. And again, we're dividing here now, 187 divided by 28. How many groups of 28 could we get from 187? Again, we can use this rounded number to help us a little bit. And how many groups of 3 could we get from 1? That answer would be 0. Then we go on to how many groups of 3 could we get from 18? 3 times 6 is 18. So we're going to try 28 times 6. And I'm running out of space, so I'm going to go over here. 28 times 6. 8 times 6 is 48. 2 times 6 is 12. Plus 4 is 16. 168. So we look at this answer compared to this. It's close to it. It doesn't go over. I couldn't add another 28 to that and still be less. My answer for the division is 187 divided by 28 is 6. 6. That's when we multiply or divided. Then we multiply 6 times 28 is 168. Then we subtract. 17 subtract 8 is 9. 7 subtract 6 is 1. So we have 19. Then we compare. 19 is less than 28. We check to see if there's anything left to bring down. There isn't. So we're done with the problem. We don't have to repeat. Our remainder is going to be 19. So 6,347 divided by 28 is 226, remainder 19. At the beginning of the video, we talked about there has to be a number above each one. So if there's 4 here, there has to be 4 here. We have that. We have a remainder. So there you go. Again, you can use this video to help you as you work through your problems. Pause if you need to, and then start back up when you're ready to move on to the next step. If you have any questions, make sure you let your teacher know.